Hey, hello world. Welcome to the D&D Beyond Dev Update. My name is Joe Starr. I am the lieutenant commander of making elf videos here at Fandom Tabletop and D&D Beyond. If it's your first time joining us, welcome. Glad you're here. If you've never been here before, and you're like, I don't know what this is. What are you doing? D&D Beyond is an unofficial tool set or an official tool set. Why did I say that? Is an official tool set that makes D&D Beyond or makes D&D easier to play, makes it funner to play. Yeah, I said funner. Makes it funner to play. Might even make it sexier to play. I don't know. It's up to you guys. Let me know. And the dev update is our weekly check-in to let you know what's new, what's coming up. It's also where we interview our devs for a little bit of insight. We have a special guest today, Faith Elisabeth Lilley, and we will be talking to her very, very soon. So the first 10 minutes or so of the show is dedicated to just walking through our roadmap. And then we will have Faith on to go over. Today we're going over. We've got some updates or some upgrades rather, some facelift to the Dungeon Master's Guide and the Player's Handbook. So Faith's going to hop on, walk us through some of what that was, why we did it, all that good stuff. Just to be able to answer your questions, go a little deeper on a topic. So that's going to be the second half of the show. If you are looking for just a list of updates, check out our changelog. If you are watching on YouTube, it's linked below. If you are on Twitch, a mod is currently frantically trying to create a link to the changelog because I didn't ask them to do so prior. Thank you, mods, for putting up with my bullshit. Okay, so all that said, if you are live, strap in. And if you're watching on YouTube in the future, you know the drill. Hit that like, smash that bell, bro. Leave us a comment for engagement purposes so that the algorithm will. All right, now that you know, let's jump on in. Okay, let's get into the roadmap. Again, the roadmap is a living document. It's always updating. It's always evolving. Just because there's not something on the roadmap right now doesn't mean that no one has thought about it at D&D Beyond before. Also doesn't necessarily mean that some things are not currently in the works. We're just not ready to go public with them on the roadmap. But there's some stuff to talk about. Y'all know about this Critical Role, Call of the Netherdeep. Critical's first adventure book through Wizards of the Coast is available for pre-order right now. Again, if you're curious about Matt Mercer's Nethers and how deep they go, Call of the Netherdeep is your book. Maybe you're more curious after seeing Legends of Vox Machina, which by the way is dope. If you haven't seen it yet, sorry, I could rant for the next hour about that show. I'm so excited to watch the next three episodes. Then, of course, Monsters of the Multiverse also available for pre-order right now. I know that there are, a lot of questions around this book. How's it going to work for D&D Beyond? All that good stuff. And I am pausing to vamp for just a moment because I think I got a breaking news thing. I didn't actually. So official details for Monsters of the Multiverse, how they're going to apply into D&D Beyond. They've been drafted. They're currently under review with our partners at Wizards of the Coast. So as soon as they give us the thumbs up on that FAQ, we're going to send it your way. But while we're waiting on that, remember that the too long didn't read. The thing that I think you're most concerned about is that you're not going to lose anything that you have already purchased when Monsters of the Multiverse comes out. So no Teresk is going to come and just like like kaiju smash the stuff you've already spent money on. So I think that's probably the most important thing people are concerned about. So again, just a reminder that that's what's up. Encounters Encounters has been available to all registered users since the holiday, but we're stoked about it. I want to keep reminding you that it's there. Again, you might not have watched the last 2 weeks. This might be your first time. You may never watched ever before. Encounters is now free to use for all registered users. Go check it out. We're super proud of it. It's a pretty slick tool for creating balanced encounters for your party and then actively tracking combat. And that now includes death save tracking, which we're also stoked about. So we're going to continue to update, encounters as we go, as bright ideas come in, as light bulbs go off. So yeah, yeah, yeah. Pretty excited about that. Also, fairly excited about cointainers. Normally I'm the pun boy, but in this case, Pat and his team were the pun team. Cointainers. Now you can put coins into containers, which is pretty cool. That is currently only available to subscribers. Uh, as we, just continue to make sure that it is solid and up to snuff and ready for gold, and that will eventually, fairly soon, be made available as well to all registered users. Also, now small quality of life update, but we've kind of streamlined app updates. So now book updates are going to be smaller sizes. It's just going to be an easier process to update the app. Um, Again, the mobile app is something we are really proud of, and um, slinging updates to it, all the time, and just is slowly improving. That team's incredible, and really actively trying to give you all the best experience possible with it. So things like book updates as new books come and stuff like that are going to start getting a little more bite sized, a little more easier to handle. News I'm excited about: we're going to start playing Unwelcome Spirits next week. That's the adventure and explorer's guide to Wildmount. Our team is going to be joined by Eliza Pearl and Mark from that. They're high rollers. Super excited about that. So come check that out. That's going to start next Wednesday at 3 o'clock Pacific time, right here on our Twitch channel. Super stoked about that. Super excited to have both Eliza and Mark. All right, what's next here? Sorry, I'm managing a cat, and she's super into just sort of like testing the stability of like my streaming setup, and I'm just like waiting for her to topple the entire thing. So while I'm talking to you all, I'm also trying to manage a very mean toddler who's now doing this. Sorry, guys. This is awesome. This is why you tuned in. All right, we do have a Twitch extension update. So you might have noticed the Twitch extension's not working, which sucks. Let me give you some update and some background on what's going on with the Twitch extension. So as uh as fifth edition's rules have continued to evolve and change, and then and also, quite frankly, as the people, as creators who use the extensions, needs have changed, and then also how our own tool set has evolved and changed. um the original Twitch extension wasn't quite like meeting our standards for quality. It was getting out of date very quickly, right? With every sort of new book that came out and stuff like that, and quite frankly, with every step that we've been making with D&D Beyond as a tool set, the Twitch extension was very quickly sort of falling out of step. So instead of kind of going like bandage on bandage on bandage on bandage on bandage on bandage, until you had this like weird rickety thing like held together by duct tape that was just like kill me. We decided on the approach that it would be better in the long run to rebuild the Twitch extension as as like more of a set of creator tools. That was the goal, that was the vision, that was the hope. Unfortunately, the timing of that goal, vision, and hope did not line up with Twitch's vision of the future. Last week, Twitch kind of dropped on us, hey, by the way, old extensions that aren't updated, we're just turning them off. The big question then is, will the extension come back? The short answer to that is yes. So we're not just working again on a new vision of the Twitch extension, but I think that the goal, really, thank you so much. So the cat is now very angry that I'm no longer allowing her on my lap. She's trying to make as much noise as possible off camera because she's a monster. Thank you, Sarah. I love you so much. Sorry, again, back to the extension. So we're not just trying to make an updated Twitch extension, but like an actual kind of set of tools that are really going to help streamers and creators um, really use like the full extent of D&D Beyond in their streams and in their content. So, that's not just, hey, here's how you keep track of hit points, on a stream. That's here's the combat tracker, here's encounters. Um, you know, uh, so really, really trying to bring you something that matches where D&D Beyond is now, because the Twitch extension really was not that. Um, uh, we definitely wish Twitch's timing had aligned with ours a little bit better. Uh, and we appreciate your patience on that note. We're not thrilled about it either, but it is what it is. As we sort of design and build that next gen, that next version of those tools, you all will of course be informed and remain posted on major milestones as that work continues. Again, now available the Player's Handbook and DMG Facelift. We're going to dig in on that in just a moment. But first, let's talk about what's coming next. First of all, February perks are coming next week. There's also a bundle sale coming. Uh, February 11th through February 20th. All bundles are going to be 20% off. So we will keep you all abreast of all information around the sale. We'll be prepared to answer your questions and all that good stuff around all things bundle. Just wanted to make sure that everyone knew it was coming. Critical Role subclass updates. So, and Blood Hunter. Blood Hunter's not. Blood Hunter's just a class. So Blood Hunter, as well as Way of the Cobalt Soul and Oath of the Open Sea, will all be receiving errata updates straight from the creators. We've seen a lot of questions about people, asking if Tal'Dorei Reborn is going to end up on D&D Beyond, if those subclasses are going to end up here. And I'm assuming those are the questions I'm getting slacked to me right now. The boss fight isn't on today. So the mods are just sending me your questions in Slack. So I'm assuming there are some Tal'Dorei Reborn questions happening. The answer is sadly no. We don't uh, publish third-party content. I sure wish we did. I sure wish we could. There is some incredible stuff out there, including Tal'Dorei. Um, the Cobalt Soul and Oath of the Open Sea were more sort of like they're more sort of like unofficial homebrew as just some love and a nod to our continued partnership with and friendship with Critical Role. So while they're on the site, they're not linked to Tal'Dorei Reborn. Uh, Hopefully that answers that question for you. Also coming up next on the roadmap, the generic features system. What is the generic feature system? So I'm trying to get through this very quickly. I am taking up Faith's morning, and so I'm trying to get through the timeline as quickly as possible to bring her in. So basically, the generic feature system will be a system that helps us quickly adapt new features to the game that Wizards of the Coast introduces. So basically the need for this arises because the timeline from when we discover that these things exist to release of book is, it's just impossible for us to implement piecemeal um new features and stuff like that. It's just not doable, and as a result tech debt really starts to mount. So the generic feature system is going to be an approach where upon learning about those new features coming out, we will be able to easily start to insert and implement them through this feature system. So we'll have some updates and news for you all about that system coming up. Have some of the devs on to talk about what it's going to look like, how it's going to feel, what all it's going to work for, and all that good stuff coming up. Also coming up, my characters page updates. So as players, again, we want to be able to look at the my characters page that's in a way that's a little more interactive, more beneficial to our gameplay. We have got a ton of feedback from y'all as in terms of what that should feel like, what that should look like. Changes are coming. We'll have more updates for you as they come. Also, some accessibility changes coming, screen reader improvements, dyslexia font support. Super excited about that. Again, props to Jared and his team for taking accessibility so seriously at D&D Beyond. It's truly appreciated by everybody. And also game data listing updates. Very excited about this. So this is under rules. You know, when you're looking at monsters and spells and magic items, the functionality right now isn't currently like what I'd call the best, right? So some fairly substantial changes are coming to make it much easier to navigate what you're trying to find in there. I think you all are going to be really excited, and we'll probably have Jared or somebody from the team on when we get a little closer to launching that just to walk you through it. But I think you're really going to be pleased with what we do. And now, you know what? Let's get to the main event here. Let's talk a little bit about the Dungeons Master's Guide and the player's handbook, facelift, if you will. Uh, so let's first of all give her the proper welcome. Faith Elisabeth Lilley is not just a content specialist at D&D Beyond. She is the patron saint of D&D Beyond. I honestly don't think the tool set would work without her. Like your games would not be without Faith. And so I with all due reverence, hey Faith, welcome to the show.
Hey Joe, hey everybody. It's great to be here. Looking forward to talking to you about some of this.
Heck yes. So let's just dig right in. I could bother you and just like make you feel very uncomfortable by continuing to praise on stream, unless you're just like, oh no, stop. Faith, as part of the lore keepers team is just key and essential and an anchor. Faith is also massively involved in the community side of things, and in those forums and working with folks. So, and just a vocal, active part of the community, an advocate for y'all at all times. And it's just honestly always a pleasure to just like watch you work via Slack. It's kind of wild to watch the wizard at work. And one thing that you've been working to roll out are these. I don't know, what do we want to call them? Do we want to call them upgrades? Do we want to call them facelifts to the DMG and the player's handbook?
Let's go with refresh, right? It's Player's Handbook and Dungeon Master's
Refresh.
Guide. Refresh, yeah. So this is something that the whole Lore Keepers team are passionate about. Something that we've instilled is that, every time we bring out a new book, we're not happy with sticking to the standards and quality the previous book was at. We always want to just take a little step up and be better each time. Player's Handbook and the Dungeon Master's Guide have been on the site since we launched. So with us getting better every book we build, yeah, we look back at them and went, they're kind of lacking a bit now. We really need to like bring them some love. So the whole team. So that's Elliot, who's the team manager, and Adam and Jay, who work with me as well. Have been dedicated on working on all these books, and the Player's Handbook and DMG now been brought up to the standards that all of the newer books have. So I know we've got some screenshots so we can show you just some of the differences and some of the amazing stuff that we've done.
Perfect. Yeah, I would love that. And as we sort of dig into these, I also, and I think this is maybe my fault in terms of just presenting this concept, but I know we've got a lot of questions of like, is this a Monsters of the Multiverse thing? Are you changing content? No, aside from, any official errata updates that Wizards of the Coast puts out, which, have, already come out.
Right.
This is more just about
evolving
so, I mean, these books for y'all.
We're just slamming through some screenshots here, but so
let's go back to the top, Will, and actually walk through these.
Yeah. So first off, this isn't errata. We've not changed any of the rules. What we're doing is we're changing how we're presenting it so that we're bringing up to date the standards. So don't worry. Player's Handbook, still the same Player's Handbook that you knew, but you're going to find it way easier to find what you're looking for, to read what you're looking at. So if you take a look there, what you're seeing on the screen there is the old index, and now there's the new table of contents. Kind of similar, but we've made sure to hit some of the links that were missing previously are now included on there, and it's got a much stronger similarity to the actual table of contents in your physical player's handbook that you know and love. One of the other things that we've worked on doing is where you look at the older style of the book, where you see there's just a lot of text and it all looks the same. The Player's Handbook is a very iconic book. There's some styles that Wizards of the Coast introduced in that book that have been copied and used in all of the other books. And if we go to the next one, you'll see, look, there you go. That box there that presents rules, everybody knows what that box is with those little corners that tick up and that slightly purple colour. That's where you find, hey, here's a thing you need to know about its rules. We didn't have that before, we've got it now. We've also gone through and put a lot of effort into making sure that we've added a load more tooltips, so you can, where it's linking to monsters and so forth. And we've also scattered in rules tooltips. So if you see something that's talking about adding a level of exhaustion or is talking about difficult terrain, you've got that tooltip right there. You don't need to go look for it. It'll just tell you what it is. The equipment section that we're looking at here, there's a bunch of tables, there's some text. I mean, it was okay. But if you look at what we've done now, you've got links off to all those things. You've got that, you've got that new style there and easy way to get at them all. You want to hover over one of those tooltips, it tells you exactly what that is. Also links off to be able to get there. So, yeah.
Well, I love this because I know that, I think, it's always been definitely noticeable. It's like, oh, these are clearly the first wave of books that were put in, and so just like the ease of navigation and tooltip hovers and stuff is super super cool.
It's not just trying to make it more look like the book as well. We've paid special attention to better accessibility, so it'll be a significantly improved experience for anybody using a screen reader to access, which is really important to us, so that people can do that. So that's going to be a lot better for them, as well as the color schemes actually working better for people who have some trouble with colors.
That's actually really, really cool. On the accessibility front, not to put you on the spot, and again, this would just be, this isn't to say that, okay, it's been said, it has to happen now, but, what is your accessibility wish list on books? Are there things that
you we're already checking them off, right? So you can see there's an image there that was on the screen a moment ago where it's got like, hey, here's the pictures. And like in the actual physical book, it's got like a nice font that tells you what it is. And we're like, no. So let's remove that. The picture now just has the artwork. And then we've got accessible text that is in a proper HTML standard so that you can get it there. You can copy and paste that. You can do all those. We have internally, a front-end guild that has accessibility meetings, and it's something we take really seriously. We reach out, and this is something that when Jared's on, I know he's going to want to talk about, so I won't deep dive on
Won't steal his thunder.
I don't want to steal it. Jared's great. He's really sort of taken this and run with it. But all the teams feel strongly about this, and it's accessibility is something we're working to make sure that we bake in to everything as just part of our process of doing something. It should never be something that we add on afterwards as an extra thought.
Which is super super cool. And then I think just getting that sort of process in line is going to make it so much easier to just make into books out the gate. So that's super super cool. I'm looking through to see if there's any questions. Mostly probably questions for like Pat's team and stuff like that. In the chat today, as per usual. People want to know when we can expect created holograms of their characters that will talk to them and interact with them in real life.
Okay.
Per the usual. I don't know if you have any insight on character holograms, but
no, I don't. That's one of the few things I'm not involved in. But our team,
you're not in that
because
room.
our team is responsible for the content that you're seeing on the site. We interface with all of the other teams on how we're doing this. Quickly answer something I did see in chat. You do not have to buy the Player's Handbook and DMG again if you own those on or have access to them on D&D Beyond. This refresh is live now. That's it. You don't have to pay anything extra for it. That's just something we do because we love Dungeons and Dragons, and we use this product as well. We were like, this just really needs doing.
which is super
But yeah,
super
you want to
cool.
go through any questions? Happy to talk about anything that I do know bits about,
Yeah,
but no
sure,
holograms on
sure,
the character
sure.
sheet.
So ZXDMS, love the work on the PHB and DMG. Will the search function be improved as part of that, or is that to come? Probably something we're gonna punt over to Jared because I think Faith. I don't know if you've got anything to add there.
Sure, I've been in those meetings.
Yeah, your eyes lit up
Um,
just a little.
yeah, so absolutely we want to, and I mean, it's, there's no easy way to say this. The Elasticsearch on our site's kind of junk. You have to know exactly what you're looking
Yep,
for and type it right to get it to work. It's just, it really needs to be in a better place. It needs to land you on the things that you're actually looking for, even if you misspell them slightly. Because, I mean, some of those monster names and stuff, who even knows how to spell those? Yeah, we've got a lot of improvements that are in the works. I'm afraid this falls under the I can't tell you the dates, but I do know that
right.
we've been looking into the plans on how this is all going to work in terms of framework change.
Well, Faith, hey, thank you for being here. It's always just like a pleasure to have you on, pick your brain a little bit. Um, uh, I shiver to know what your Slack looks like, having had to spend 15 minutes talking to me instead of being in the trenches. But a cup of squids
I'm
asks. Oh, go ahead.
no, I was to say I'm always happy to be here and to talk to everybody. It's nice to get out for a little bit.
I mean, I just like I think you deserve your roses daily for everything you do here. So I'm glad we get
Oh,
to show you off a little bit
thank you.
to
Hey,
the community.
on top of that, one thing that I've been organising with Melly, who's our community manager, for those who don't know, is that we're going to start
That's right.
trialing doing a form of AMA on the forums on a monthly basis, and seeing as I'm the one that jumped on and went, hey, let's do this, I'm going to be going first. So Tuesday next week, which is the 8th of February, I'm going to be taking some time out of my day to be able to go on the forums, and it'll be a thread where you can jump in there and ask questions. It's looking like what we're going to do is I'll post the thread on the Monday, which will have because we know that D&D is global, right? So I don't want to give people
Hmm.
no chance to be able to answer. So we'll post that on the Monday along with here's some information, here's the parameters of what you are and aren't allowed to talk about, and ask me. And then on the Tuesday, I'll go in and start answering stuff.
That's awesome. Again, I said Faith was an advocate for the community, and done meant it. Hey, thank you so much. Make sure that you look for that forum post on Monday. Get your questions in for Faith. That's actually going to be really really super cool. To close us out, Faith, because it's been a minute since you've been on, and if you have already answered this, maybe it's changed. This is a big question, and it changes a lot. But what's your favorite dinosaur?
Yeah, I'm going to change since last time I was on here.
Go.
Yeah, I'm going to go in hard with the T Rex because who wouldn't,
Oh,
right? And you're going to argue? Are you going to?
I mean, not with you.
Or with the T Rex, right?
I will also, yeah, definitely also not argue with the T-Rex. Um, hey, it was also my favorite Dino Rider toy. You could beat that T-Rex with a saddle on it. Super super cool. Faith, thank you so much for being on. I really appreciate it. Will, appreciate you. Will does not get the love that he deserves because he's in the shadows making all of this work. Thank you, brother. We really appreciate it. And thank you all for joining us. Leave your questions in the comments if you're on the old YouTube. We always make sure that those go into our product board, that those go into our feedback flow. So your thoughts, your critiques, your questions, keep them nice. We're people, just like you, and so don't be a jerk. and be kind to each other out there. And as usual, if your answer to all of this is like, this all sounds cool, I have no one to play this game with, go to our forums, go to our Discord. There's always people looking for a game to play. You deserve a game of D&D. It'll make your life better. I really, really do believe that. That's why we do what we do. It's a weird world out there right now. Be kind to each other, and we'll see you next time on the Dev Update. Thanks, everybody.
It's D&D, D&D Beyond, yeah, D&D, D&D Beyond. You got your stats, you got your soul.